Here's the thing. Only a small group of the population knows what really happens before, during, and after an eviction. The courts, the sheriff, and the few landlords who actually had to endure this. As a nation, we are trained to root for the underdog. American success stories are built on the formula of triumph, tragedy, triumph. We think of the tenant as the poor victim, the down on their luck hero or heroine who fell on hard times, and we collectively root for them to come out on top again. But what about the landlord? How many of us know what really goes into an eviction? The cost, the damages, the time, the emotional highs and lows. As a landlord for 12 years, I know I certainly did not. But I will learn, and this is that journey. I had a tenant who had not paid rent for a year and a half, and I was finally awarded possession back of my property, and an eviction ensued. This is the aftermath.
Hey y'all, okay, it is Friday. We are on our way to the office. Y'all, I just want to come and talk to y'all, and I got to talk to y'all now because I feel like I got a lot to say. I want to talk to y'all. Oh my God, this is the thing. I think this is the thing because I don't even know what I'm about to say, but I know what I want to say. All right, here we go. Y'all were there on Wednesday. I feel emotional. Y'all were there on Wednesday. Y'all didn't see everything on Wednesday because honestly, there were bits and pieces on Wednesday where I was broken. Like I was fighting not to cry. Even though I had moments where tears were falling, those were the tears that escaped because I was fighting not to cry. And the reason I was fighting not to cry was because I was like, this person cannot see me broken and feel like she won. But here's the thing. In my heart, I think as the day went on and progressed, that's what I was feeling. I was feeling like she won. She won. When somebody can commit a crime, vandalism, her kids, all of them, as far as I'm concerned, she didn't do that alone, right? When somebody could do that and there's no punishment for it, you won. When somebody can take, I said about 50,000 out of my pocket because they did 50,000 in damages, she won. So everybody around me was like, no, you won. And I could see that because there were some victories. There's victories. Oh my God, there was victories. Let me say, like, first of all, did we have to search or look for anything? We did not. Did resources just show up out of the blue? They did. Did they all just want to help me and join in on this whole thing with me? They did. Everybody who showed up was on my side and they wanted to lend their help, their support, their knowledge, who they know, their contacts, everything, just to help remedy the situation, okay? When those movers showed up, and I'm thinking they done seen it all, they undid it all. But when they walked in there and they was like, oh no, but we ain't did this and we ain't doing it because it is dangerous. They weren't sure if those floors were going to cave in, if those floors can take the body weight of big men moving heavy furniture, that they was like, we can't move this stuff. I was sitting there like, in the moment, now what do I do? Now I know that there was going to be an answer down the road, future. But again, it was all feeling overwhelming to have to try to sit there and piece it all together then and there on the spot. What can be done now is what I asked. I called the owner. Between them having conversations and talking to the owner, I called the owner and he just started apologizing, like so sorry. And then his heart softened and he was like, we're gonna help you. And the next thing I know, the movers were back in there moving out what they could. So the no turned into, we gonna do something. The no turned into, but hey, can we at least get all this food out? Because they had that truck. Now in eviction, the first step is they're going to move everything. And I thought we was going to talk about this. Maybe I'll make another video somewhere along the way. But in eviction, the first step is they move everything to the street. They move it to the street and they leave it there. They leave it there for a number of days so that the person can come get their stuff, whatever. And then me, the owner's responsible to come and clean it up, or I start getting fined every day. So in the beginning, they were going to leave it on the street, and then they were going to come back at some later point in time in life because they had other appointments. They had other things to do. They weren't prepared to move a truck of raggedy furniture that day. Nor did they have something big enough. So then it went from, we're going to move everything out, the things that we can safely out. Then it went to, we're going to load it on the truck. Now I heard some of the workers complaining and grumbling. What? Why you tell us to load it on the truck in the beginning? It's like, look, course of direction change. I just got the word from the boss. We're putting it on a truck. So they stopped moving everything on the truck. The blessing in that was I didn't have to have this eyesore in front of the property with the neighbors, for the neighbors, because I don't live there, right? So that was awesome. They would haul it away. They filled that entire truck to capacity. And I was still asking, because there was a tire in the yard. Can we throw that on a truck too? Yes. Can we at least get this food out? Because there's no electricity here. It's hot. It's summertime. This food is going to start festering, moldering, bugs, infestation, all of that, which I'm sure this is what this girl had in mind. So she was like, yo, we got you. She got the movers back and we loaded up bags after bags. That's the point where you see us helping, because we're like, yo, we gonna, you know, help get some of this food out, Pampers, things like that. And so we got that stuff out. And they didn't do the basement, because the basement was flooded, tile floor down there, slippery. So it was like, you know, yeah, we can't do this. So it's like, okay, yep, completely understand. So they did what they could. The angels were showing up. My one neighbor was like, yo, there's somebody around here who is buying property. He already bought the house next door to mine and he rehabbed it. Numbers out there, numbers public, we all know this. Yes, okay, great. Let's give him a call. We give him a call. Turned out he was 5 minutes around the corner. He was like, I can come by and take a look right now. Great, because we're here right now. So he comes by, and bless his heart, he was so sweet, and it was what I needed in the moment to get my vibrations raised just a little bit, right? Because we're at the bottom. We're raising in increments. God was supplying everything I need to get my vibrations back, because we can't create from a place of lack. We can't create from a place of desperation, from a place of abandonment, from a place of despair. We can't. So the first step in anything you're going through is to raise it, to get something up, even if just by an increment. Increment by increment, we'll get where we need to be eventually. Okay? Okay? We will. And so he came in, he gave me an offer right then and there. Of course, there was a lot of that. You got to do that. That's negotiation, right? And so the offer he gave me, it started at $240, but then he moved it to $250. $250. Okay, $250. This means that I take home $33,000. 3 is my lucky number. So technically that should have sounded good, but it didn't sound good with my spirit. It sound okay. It sound like, okay, I'm not taking a loss. Okay, there is some value here. Okay, we can do something here. $250. $250 was going to include the closing costs. $250, I wasn't going to do capital gains because obviously I took a loss. $250 was going to be in cash. In cash. I wasn't going to shake on that deal. There are people like, oh, I would have took that deal then and there. I'm not shaking on the deal. I got to think it, because I already know I'm emotional. I'm in a state that I can't even think clearly. I asked the guy, should I call my insurance? Guy, if my insurance fits something, wouldn't that offset the prices? Guy, what do you think, Guy? I know I just met you, Guy, but Guy, tell me something. And so he says to me, well, you know, you can call your insurance, but I don't know. I mean, because you're going to have to pay a deductible. And he says your premium will go up. Y'all, we've been talking money. We've been talking finances for years, but he don't know this. He don't know this, that this is what me and you do. He don't know it. What I know for a fact is that when people throw words around like deductibles, they think you're broke. People are afraid of deductibles. I'm not. Why am I not afraid of a deductible, guys? Y'all know the answers to this because y'all been rocking with me for years. We're not afraid because we saved our money for this, guys. That's one of your first steps. You save your money in case of emergency. You save your money to cover your expenses. You save your money so that you have your deductible sitting in your bank account saying we ready to go. What you need. You start your deductible at the lowest you can afford. Let's say it's $250. When you get your 250, your next step is to raise it to 500. When you get your 500, your next step is to do 1,000, guys. I never raised my deductible on my rental property from 500. Now, the reason why I didn't is because we also create in direct connection with how we feel. Manifestation has so much nuance, guys. I know all right. I know I haven't been all that great in laying this out for y'all in a nice, neat way. And I know that I have so many videos, it's hard to comb through them all to pick out the pieces and the nuggets. But it just is what it is. We on our way to work right now, 6 in the morning. I fit this in when I can get this in. I don't have time to sit and write out neat, pretty scripts. There's so many things I don't have time to do, but I do what I can. And I give you what I can when I can. And for the most part, it's been working, right? But the bottom line is, in manifesting, you can't manifest what you don't believe. And if you're feeling any kind of way about it, it ain't gonna work, baby. So you gotta do your actions in direct reaction to how you feel. And so for me, I never felt good about putting $1,000 on something that I felt wasn't mine, on something that I felt that was being abused by somebody other than me, a tenant. So if I was gonna ever have to call in my insurance, I felt better with having to put in $500 than $1,000. That's why. So he don't know that deductible ain't nothing but a thing. And then you say to me, your premium's gonna raise. I ain't afraid of bills. That's the thing, guys. When people think you broke, they're gonna lowball you and underestimate you and try to scare you with big worries like bills and raise and increase. I told you guys this. When I first got that house, I never refinanced because people kept saying, oh, a rental property, the interest rates are gonna be high. The interest rates are gonna be high. So I let that word high scare me from even checking out the possibility. And the possibility was my main home interest rate was 3.25 at the time. I went ahead, I refinanced my rental property, and guess what the interest rate was? It was higher than 3.25. It was 3.37, guys. For years, I kept an interest rate that was way too high because I was afraid of what it meant when they knew, when they found out I had a rental property, what they're going to raise the interest rate to. My insurance on the rental property was never any higher than anything, because here's the thing. Insurance on a rental property covers the property, the structure. It doesn't cover the things that are inside the property, the renter's contents. Therefore, it's going to be cheaper, because when you have your insurance on your own personal property, it's also going to cover your personal property things inside of your home. Okay? Okay? So when this guy says, oh, you put in a claim, your junk is going to go up, I ain't afraid. And then this is what I know. I put in enough claims, y'all, in my life. My insurance ain't never increased. I don't have bootleg insurance, guys. That's the other thing about this. Get rid of the bootleg insurance. They're bootleg for a reason. They're bootleg because their job is to make money off your expense. They're bootleg is because they make money off of denying you in your claims, okay? My insurance ain't that. My insurance ain't that. He don't know this, though. He don't know this, though. And then I say to him, I said, but what difference does it make if I have rental insurance, but I'm not going to have a rental property anymore? I can't get bills off of something I don't have. But he didn't have an answer for that. So I just left it at that. Like, okay, this is what he's telling me. But it wasn't sitting well. Something wasn't adding up. It didn't sound right. Why wouldn't somebody want me to use my insurance to offset expenses? If this is what they're saying, they're going to have to pour money into. Why not pour less money into it and just give me more money? Okay, fine. You don't want to talk about that. Okay, I'm going to think on it. And this is when y'all see me, my family and everything. They all thought it was good because I'm transparent. He was giving me this offer in private so, other people don't hear. But what he don't know is we talk money. I don't have secrets. There's no secret deals going on in my life. There's no secrets, guys. Okay? Get it together, Tinesha. Get it together. So that's that. So, of course, I call who I know. I call the people I know, and I run little things by them. I call my property manager because she's also an agent. She's been helping me, walking with me this whole way, giving me all the advice, sending me all the papers for free. Even before I took her on to say, can you manage this property for me? She was sending me stuff. She was sending me contracts, not contracts between her and me, but contracts that she had that she says, hey, you can mimic this. You can write this up. You can do this. You can do that. Here's my resources. Here's everything I know. Here's websites. Here's links. Here's the forms I filled out. Here, you can use them as a template. She was doing all of that for free. So I call her and let her know, yo, this guy, this is the deal he put on the table. He said it's going to have to be a complete gut. He said he's going to have to put $70,000 in it just to get it right. And then in my mind, I'm thinking, because you know I'm not in this field, if he says $70,000 and he's experienced, it's probably going to cost me $100,000, right? So even when I did my own numbers of this is what it would cost me if I had to rehab this place myself and do everything myself, it's going to cost me about $100,000. And then when I sell it for X, Y, and Z of what he could have sold it for, I still only profited $33,000. The number still came up to $33,000. So of course, all roads were pointing to go his way. So I called her about, what do you think? And she's like, what we all know in business, the first offer is never the best offer, right? The first offer is what is the start of the negotiation. I'm never in the mood to negotiate, though. I love people who bring me their best first offer. I do. I'm in it so that we all can win. And of course, you know, the guy throws out words like win-win. I want us both to win. Yeah. But again, that was a red flag when he really tried to scare me away from my insurance. And then she was like, well, if you give me his name and number, I can call him and try to broker a deal, get a contract, really get some concrete things on the table. Because again, I'm not in this industry, so I don't know exactly what to ask for, but I know I will be led. I know I will be led, right? And so she does that immediately. And so maybe 10, 20 minutes later, he calls me immediately. It's like 7 p.m. at night now. And he calls me because he got the call and he doesn't understand why am I getting anybody involved when we don't have to cut anybody in the deal. It's such a straightforward deal. It's so easy. You know, you don't have to pay an agent. You don't have to pay this. You don't have to pay that. And I said, well, I'm not in a contract with her as an agent. So technically I'm not paying an agent. And he says, well, I told her I'm not paying either. So if you took her on, you're going to have to pay out of your profit. I hear you. And he's like, why would you want to do that? He says, well, maybe you can negotiate and give her something, but why would you even want to do that again? So now you try to talk me off of having insurance take a look at anything. And now you're trying to talk me into having somebody who you know is professionally experienced in such a thing from looking over anything. You're trying to scare me. Okay, I hear you. Okay, just hold off. I'm having everybody hold off. I'll give you a call whenever I figure out whatever I need to figure out. No worries. You don't have to send nothing to her. Nothing has to be sent to nobody. How about that? And he's like, this is such a good deal. This is my, okay, I get it. But also what I'm getting at this point is he's really staying on top of this, right? Why are you staying on top of this? Because honestly, if something is such a complete loss, you're going to be looking in there like, I don't know. This looked like too much of a headache. That's that, right? So my agent property manager person, she calls, I get back on the horn with her and she's like, yo, I said, well, do you know anybody who might be potentially interested in this property? Because again, how do you know if anything's good if you don't have nothing to compare it to? Now the mistake is, well, it ain't even a mistake. It is what it is. The transparency is, I already told her $250. So we already know that. So she says, yeah, she has somebody who wants to come out and look at it at 10:30 a.m. the next day. Great. Again, moving right along. I ain't really had to go look, search, dig, beg, nail, crawl for nothing at this point. So I'm like, good, 10:30, I can be there. I get to work. I wake up at 3 in the morning. I wake up at 3 a.m. to work on YouTube to edit videos. 3 a.m. I went to bed like maybe about 1 a.m. I went to bed at 1 a.m. Got right back up at 3 a.m. So I took a nap. And then I was in my office at 5 a.m. I was in my seat at 5 a.m. working, meeting with some of my teams. I got some team members who get there early, you know, figuring out what I can figure out, and then also figuring out what I needed for my next steps in the day. And I wrote a list out because it's too early to do anything, right? So I wrote a list. Oh, I hope I have my battery. Please have my batteries. Yeah, because y'all ain't here for all of this. So I wrote a list about what I needed to do, who I needed to call later, and that was that. And so I knew I was going to need to do the mailbox thing. So on the way, I left work at 9 a.m. because I had that 10:30. So I left at 9 a.m. and I called my mortgage provider on the way to pick up my mom and my niece. And they were able to email me the deed. Again, everything is falling into place because I didn't have enough. I searched also when I woke up at 3 in the morning. I searched for some things and I couldn't find them. And so I picked them up and we get out there and we pull up at the same time as the other prospective buyer pulled up. And we talked, he looked through it and he gave me an offer. Offer was $265. Now I knew that he was giving me an offer just to make it better than the last person's offer, right? $265. But the difference was his wasn't going to be all cash. His was going to be in a program that they put together, which is actually a pretty cool thing, where they use their money and they invest their money in my property to fix it up front. And then when we sell the property, that's when everybody walks away with their profits, right? I get the $265 and they get above the rest. I'm calculating that above the rest would have been a good $80,000. He said it was going to take about $37,000 to fix up the property. So one dude says $70,000, this guy says $37,000, right? So $37,000 minus the $80,000 of profit, it could be more, gives you about $50,000. Okay, they feel like this can be all done in under a month. All right. So he was like, this way you get to walk away with $15,000 extra and you're still not having to pay closing costs out of that money. So we go from $33,000 plus 33 plus 15,000. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You guys already know, because y'all been rocking with me. Y'all already know the kind of numbers I pull. I do that a month on my own. So 15,000 don't sound like a lot of money to me. Don't sound like a lot to me, because that's what I do, right? And I'm already a millionaire, so 15,000 in my mind, I'm thinking I need money that's gonna keep me in millionaire status, because right now I'm gonna be just below millionaire. I'm gonna be like 950,000 or something. And so I want at least enough where I can still be a millionaire, because y'all know. Oh, let me sit in this parking lot for a second, because I'm still talking to y'all. And I need to go to the store anyway. So let's sit in this parking lot and finish out this conversation. So again, my heart wasn't doing flips. And I say this because, remember, guys, we have a guidance system. We have an emotional guidance system. Our emotions are our guide. So I was still thinking, still not feeling like I'm winning. I'm still not feeling like yes. I'm not still not hearing that strong, clear yes, right? And so I'm just like, okay, interesting. But I had booked another appointment at the same time as his appointment. I booked the water damage people to come in and give me an assessment, because I need to know what I'm working with. Everybody's looking around, but I don't know this thing. So I need to know something about what is this damage for real, right? And so he gets there and they kind of get there at the same time. So I tell the water guy, all right, you can start here and you can start upstairs. You can go around, look at the assessment. I'm going to finish up down here. So me and the real estate guy was in the basement finishing up talking about that. So he said he's going to overnight me some papers. He's going to overnight me what the thing of the thing is. Overnight me. Matter of fact, by the time, not even 30 minutes later, he already had it in the mail. I already got the tracking number for what he was overnighting me. Y'all, people are moving fast. And I'm like, people are moving fast for a reason. They're moving fast because they want to secure a deal. There's some money here. There's some money here. And when he said $37,000 to rehab it and everything, in my mind, y'all know what I'm thinking. Y'all know. because we've been doing this. We've been preparing for this. I got $37,000 of my own money, cash money. I ain't gotta cash out a 401k. I ain't gotta cash out an investment. I don't have to sell nothing. I have money like that sitting in the bank. What is it? 50,000, 60,000, 8? I got that. I could do this. So I'm like, if I can do this, now I'm talking to my mom. I wonder how I can get in on my own investment of my own investment. How can I get in on this, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm still, we still got to have these conversations. So I'm talking to the water restoration, water repair, I don't know what you call them, but the people who come and assess the water damage. I'm talking to them next. And they're looking around and they're like, yeah, every single room was affected. Every single room was going to have to be rehabbed. Every single room. Walls cut out, things done, all of the cabinets, furniture, the furniture that was still there. They said everything, right? Before they can even work, all that stuff had to be pulled out. And I'm thinking, well, the people can't come back out to pull out the furniture till I get a report that the structure is sound. And they was like, but this stuff is gonna have to be pulled out before that can even happen. So I'm like, okay. And he said, but your insurance should cover all of this. Ding, 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 insurance. And then I'm like, he says, right now, this is about $20,000 worth of damage. And he says, who are you with? And I tell him who my insurance is with. And he was like, oh, yes. He said, they are great. They are going to cover all of this. He said, they will even cover the people coming in to pull the furniture out. They will even cover the electrician coming through and assessing everything. They're going to cover everything. And I was like, oh, wow. He was excited about my insurance. So I tell him, okay, let me figure this out. And I ask him, I said, well, I need to know, like, how much of this will come out of my pocket versus the insurance. Because he says, oh, no, nothing's going to come out of your pocket. The insurance is going to handle everything. Nothing's going to come out of your pocket. You just going to have to pay your deductible, $500. And I'm like, okay, well, let me talk to him. He said, yeah, call your insurance and get it all started, get the claim started. And so now I'm like, one guy, the potential buyer, says, don't call my insurance. Now, this guy is too happy for me to call my insurance because $20,000 or more is on the table. And so I was like, let me call my insurance. But before I can call anybody, like 10 minutes later, the guy's company calls me back because they want to start tomorrow, which is today. They want to start. They want to get in there and get the team started of pulling everything out. And I said, wait, no, I haven't called my insurance yet. And they was like, oh, don't worry about it. When you call, just give us the claim number. It's fine. We can start. And I'm like, see, again, eager to start. So I'm like, no, hold on. No, I'm going to talk to my insurance first. So boom, I call my insurance. And long story short, well, we're already in the long story. Long story long, my insurance is like, boom, your structure is covered $365,000. Okay? And they're like, we're going to get the assessor out to come and look at everything. First, we was going to do virtually. We're going to do the phone like this. And I'm telling her every single room, boom, 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 boom. So now, instead of doing it like this, he wanted to send an assessor, which I agree, because trust me, y'all, anybody see that place, ain't no two ways about it. It all has to be done. Ain't even nobody trying to get over. Nobody has to fudge the numbers. Nobody has to do anything. Thank you, tenant. Thank you, girl, for doing all of that. Thank you. You made it easier for all of us. Thank you. And so the guy says the assessor's going to come out and figure out how much is going to be needed to pull everything out, to tear everything out. And then this is what he said, y'all. That was the key words for me that I didn't even think about. He said, and then we figure out how much is needed to put everything back in. Y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? My insurance company, for $500 out of my pocket, is going to rehab this place. Not an investor, not of this, not of that. My own money, my own insurance, $500 is going to rehab this place. And a company that I've been with for 21 years. I don't insurance hop. I don't. Find you a good insurance provider, a quality one, a premium one, and stay there. Stick with them. This is the second time this came through for me, because another time when I had the roof damage, they was concerned that maybe I had hopped around and then therefore it makes it harder. But no, this been the provider since day one. So it made it smooth, right? And so I was like, wow, if they're covering everything, meaning that even if you did want to rehab on top of that, it's not 70,000, it's not 30,000 anymore, maybe 5,000 for really good appliances. Maybe, but that's on top of the appliances that the insurance company is going to replace. Are you kidding me? So that's where we're at right now. And this is why I say, guys, right? Yesterday, the day before yesterday, we were losing. I felt like this person won. But today, just a day, and it was actually yesterday, guys, one day, we were back on top again. We are back on top again. And this is why I say, because somebody even left a comment. Well, if you want to talk about God, why you think God's on your side or this side, or why you God's busy with Afghanistan. This is why I don't necessarily like the word God, because for so many people, we have been conditioned to think that God was just as limited as you human beings. And I'm not even putting myself in that, as you human beings. God is not a person. His power, his mercy, his understanding, his everything that he can do is beyond our understanding. Why do we keep putting these limited capacity, these limiting beliefs on this omnipotent presence? Why do we do that? Universe feels so much better to me because it's bigger than the little thing that people put in on God. But universe isn't even big enough, guys. We don't even have a word for what God is, honestly. We don't even have a word for that type of energy, that type of power. We don't even have the understanding for that. Because if we did, you wouldn't write in my comments simple things like he's busy with Afghanistan. No, he ain't. God is everywhere all the time. All the time. No matter how small or big your worries or concerns are, God is there in that too. He is. He is. They said that if I can tell, then it looks like God is on your tenant side. Whatever. This ain't about sides. This is about one life. Mine. Wanting something for that life. Mine. And knowing that the best is possible out there for me. That all things are coming together for the greater good of all involved, if that's what they are choosing. Everybody don't want the greater good, believe it or not. Some people want the drama. Some people want the smoke. Some people want the stress. Some people want that. And God will give you that too, boo. Because he ain't judging like that. That ain't what this is. These are all petty concerns, even Afghanistan, to God. These human things that we created as human beings on this planet. So the bottom line is, I know what I want for my life. And I get to have that for my life. And yes, sometimes it's hard to keep your eye on the prize and keep focused on all that you know to be true. Sometimes we do waver and we do stumble in our walk, but we do get back up. And we do walk again and we run again and we fly and we soar. And that's what this is a story of. This is a story of I'm still soaring and I will soar, and I want to take y'all on a journey, because more than anything, more than y'all seeing how I come through this, I want this to be an example that you can call on to in your times of need, that it all works out, that it's all okay, that we get through this, and that we don't just get through this, guys. We fly above this. We come out better on the other side than we were before all of this. That's what I want this to be. This relationship between me and you all. Because what I really want is I want the world to know it's okay. I want the world to know that we got this. I want the world to know that we can feel better, that you can feel better. No matter what it is that's troubling you, that's ailing you, you can feel better, that there is relief no matter how big it may seem. That's what I want. And I want to use this as that example as I'm going through this. Not at the other side when it's all done, when I already know the answers. I want y'all to see this when I don't even know what I'm doing. I want to be that emotional and that vulnerable, and I didn't give y'all that other day of the eviction because I was already thinking about that one person who I didn't want to see me break down. But you get to see me break down because this is real, this is human, and sometimes we do break down. But breaking down doesn't mean you lost. Breaking down doesn't mean that the victory was given to the other side. That is not what it means. It may mean in that instant, maybe the battle, but the battle is not the war. And sometimes as humans, we're so short-sighted that we can't even see that. And we think, oh my goodness, why have you forsaken me? Now, mind you, me and my family were still calling his name and singing his praises and saying thank you. We did. But I was still feeling like, this ain't feeling right. And I realized what wasn't feeling right is I knew that not all sides were being all the way honest with me, even though I didn't know what that was. That's what I knew. I knew that it wasn't feeling like a yes. That's what I knew. And because I'm so used to winning, and so because I'm so used to yes moments, anything less than is never going to feel good to me. No matter how somebody else tries to shape it, it's never going to feel good to me because I know how it feels to win.